Depths of my soul, feeling the loss of control in the spirit, so colorful. Easy feeling, then let's go home to a place where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise.
Take me home to the banks of the riverside. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best. Yes, it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the riverside.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel. And today we are celebrating our first 3 points of the season. And I'm joined by the legend of John Sinclair, who was stepping in for Dave Harrison this afternoon, who was still throwing matchsticks at an event at the weekend, but he will be back next week. John, you were there yesterday, and finally, the curse is gone, and we get 3 points.
The monkey has finally come off our back, mate. It really has. I mean, listen, we needed the 3 points, Paul, and we deserved it. I mean, we played so well. I thought it was fantastic. I thought Burnley were very, very poor, if I'm honest with you. But listen, I mean, we got the 3 points and well deserved.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when we saw the starting lineup, I think we were all disappointed not to see Federico Fernandez in there. We couldn't understand why the manager had come out and said he was magnificent on Tuesday night and then leaves him out, brings the skipper back. I can understand the skipper coming back in. You know, he's Eddie Howe's captain as well, by the looks of things. So, you know, it was hit between really Federico Fernandez and Shah as to who was going to get the start. Shah did. And also Fraser missing out. He wasn't even in the squad yesterday, but you know, hopefully he'll be back for the Leicester game. First 20 minutes was dire, wasn't it? It was terrible. The referee blowing the whistle every 5 minutes, and there was no flow to the game.
No, he had a poor game, did the referee? Everything scored against us, and basically every time Burnley did a foul, it got the free kick to them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the first 20 minutes, you see why both teams are on the bottom three. And if that's the standard of Premier League football, we don't deserve to be in the Premier League.
But it got going. It got going, and of course, Cornet going off definitely helped us because he's Burnley's main threat this season. We know that, and unfortunately for them, he got injured, which was rather fortunate for us. He was replaced by what's his face?
Fernand?
What's the striker called? Vidra.
Yeah,
Vidra. And who isn't a patch on Cornet, to be honest. And you know, Cornet's pace and awareness and things like that was, you could see he was going to cause us a few problems. But then we get the goal, John, and you know, obviously Burnley a little upset. You know, a cross comes in from Willock. Nick Pope comes out to catch the ball. And there's no foul there at all, because what happens is Nick Pope catches the ball. He goes over the top of the Newcastle defender, who I think was Cher, and he loses control of the ball. Wilson picks it up, and you know, the composure from Wilson was fantastic. Just to, you know, go around the keeper, you know, steady himself, and to actually put the ball in the net when there was still a defender on the line. He had to clear that defender as well. Beautifully taken goal.
Took it well. I mean, he had to hit as hard as he could. I mean, he got in the back in the net. But yeah, I mean, Burnley can't have any complaints, really complaining. It was a goal, no doubt about it. He definitely lost the ball. I watched it again. Yeah. Definitely lost the ball. And the rest was history. So they went to VAR and just to check. And I think that made the right call. I thought the VAR screen should have come up. It didn't. And
I know. Yeah. Normally they do show, don't they? They do show. Well, even the show off sides and stuff like that. But
Mm.
listen, it's just nice for a VAR to go in our favour for once. I think it's fantastic, really, for us. And you know, the place was rocking again yesterday. Fantastic, just an incredible atmosphere in that ground, and that's what the team needs. You know, we need the team to bounce off that atmosphere. Second half was much better, in my opinion. I think we pressed Burnley a lot more. We definitely, you know, we had a sort of spat of around 6 or 7 corners in a row. Just couldn't grab that second goal. You know, and the performances, you know, we're okay. You know, I see the Chronicles ratings and they've given nobody less than an 8. I don't really agree with that, but we'll come on to that later. Mm-hmm. I think the work rate was there, but you have to say, John, the outstanding player again yesterday for me was Joe Linton.
You know what? It's just like signing a new player that's got.
It is.
He's got 30 caps for the national team. It seems like that, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But he hasn't got 30 national caps, so we're not going to go overboard on this guy. But listen, watching yesterday closely, and this guy was absolutely fantastic yet again. I mean, he tackles, he passes, his work rate is fantastic. This guy's changed. He has changed an awful lot, Paul. And
I'm going to put a question to you, John, right? And it's a question that's been asked a lot, certainly the last few days, and especially after the game yesterday. Now, Joe Linton seems to have, it's like a cloud being lifted off his shoulders, that the pressure isn't on him to score goals. Now, would you look at Joe Linton as a midfielder? Now, why I'm saying that is we've got a lot of, you know, Joe Linton has done a lot of work in getting back and winning the ball and creating attacks for us. You know, he's winning the ball in midfield more than anything else. And given Willock isn't really firing yet, I mean, he was okay yesterday. He wasn't anything special. He was just okay, in my opinion. But Joe Linton is winning a lot of headers in midfield. He's creating plays from midfield. And, you know, I was looking at the game yesterday thinking, wow, I don't know whether, you know, Joe Linton alongside Shelvey may be the way forward, because he's bustling people off the ball. He's using his strength for once. He's passing the ball away to create attacks. He's driving forward with the ball. Is it not maybe that we could look at Joe Linton as a future midfielder?
Well, if Eddie Howe's going to play in midfield, it's going to save a hell of a lot of money in the transfer dealings sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I think he could play in midfield. I don't see why not. I mean, look, you got to trust Eddie Howe what he does. I mean, Joe Linton's certainly changed his career around at Newcastle for me, and his work rate in the middle is fantastic. Would I play in midfield? I'll probably say yes, I would, because it's going to.
I mean, the only reason I'm asking you, John, is because you were there yesterday. You saw how many times Joe Linton won the ball in the middle of the park. He was winning headers and like I said before, using his size to knock players off the ball and create plays. You know, laying it off to Shelvey, who was then playing the through balls, and he just looks like the pressure's not on him to be the man that needs to score the goals, and that's a weight lifted off his shoulders. He gives it to the more flair players like St. Maximan, if you like, and it just seems he's got another job now within that team, and it's not to be the main man to score goals, and it seems to be having a good effect on him.
Yeah. I have to agree with you. Everything you've got to say, Paul. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, he's happy in that position, and he does his best, and he just does his job, really. As long as he's doing a job, what he's asked to do, like he's done, just win the ball, give it, and then let him do the work sort of thing, and then just think of what you're going to do next. I think at times a little bit heavy with Jordan Linton, like Frank's going to give the ball away.
There is that fear, isn't there? Yeah.
That's just when you worry as well. But other than that,
he's not. He gives the ball away a couple of times, which is fair enough. You know, when he's on the ball as much as he is now, there's going to be times when he does give the ball away. That's only natural. He's not going to be able to, you know, set up a pinpoint pass every single time he gets the ball. And I think that's the exciting thing about Joe Linton now. You know, we're watching him win the ball, and he's so much more composed when he's on the ball. He's not panicking. You know, if he has to take somebody on, he beats his man, then he gives the ball off, or he'll drive forward, which is just what we want to see. We've got some comments coming in. Tom says, great win yesterday. Leicester City up next. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to the game now. Good afternoon, Steve, over there in America. Crucial win yesterday. Good afternoon, Matthew. What a win that was. Wilson, man of the match for me. He was outstanding. I'm not sure he was man of the match, but he certainly played well. Good afternoon, Julie. Hope you're well. Yano, afternoon, peeps. Roy Rowe says Christmas fixtures. Oh my days! Yeah, we'll come to them. Don't worry. Rise, says Yano. Good afternoon, lads and lasses. Says Geordie Toon for life. Everyone in a pretty damn good afternoon. Good mood today. Up the Toon. Barry says, "Wow's that condom with you?" Yeah, he hasn't got it on today. I'm sure Barry will mention. I'm sure that'll come up on the Four Horsemen, John. But we'll pass over that.
So I'm not sure I'm going to be here on Monday week because I'm doing a little PD with Leicester till I die, but I'll not be on Horseman live on Monday week because I'll be in Italy, sort of thing. So,
don't worry, we'll get somebody to stand in, mate. But I'm sure it'll get mentioned.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Paul, watching from New Zealand. Good afternoon to you, Ross. Sean says, hi, everyone. I really enjoyed the game yesterday. I think we're getting stronger every game. Has John Sinclair died? John Sinclair here, or is he just playing ET? Don't worry. Afternoon, all. An excellent 3 points. Now let's go on a points-building run and kick it to all on Talk Sport. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are wanting to do, to be honest. Did you say throwing matchsticks? I did, Dan, but unfortunately, it's a Mickey take that I take out of Dave Harrison because obviously he does a lot of archery and competitions and that. I just call them matchsticks. Tom, good afternoon. Dave missed the game yesterday, so we know who the jinx is. You can't come back, Dave. That's a good point. Miggy is back, says Baz. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yano says, weak-kneed Italian ladies breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, Jesus Christ. Where will our next win come from, says Darren. The thing is, Leicester City away, John, it's looking a bit more. There's a potential there now to get a result because Leicester have Napoli later on in the week in the Europa League, and it's a game they have to win. So they'll be playing quite a strong side. Then it's 2:00 kickoff on Sunday, so there's not a lot of recovery time for Leicester, given that we have a full week of training ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we got a week to prepare, and Leicester wouldn't have that time to prepare, especially if they've got to fly to Naples as well, Napoli. And do you know what it is, Paul? I'm going to be confident here. We can actually go to the KP and actually get something out of the game. Probably a point would be great. I'd take a point there all day long, but we should go in there for the win, really, because Leicester has been unpredictable this season. I mean, the back four's not been stable as well. Yeah. They do miss Fofana. I don't got anyone to see. I think Fofana's the best defender. And clearly. The kid's only 19, so yeah, they miss him badly. But Leicester's considered a lot of goals, and they let you play as well. But if we can stop Vardy and Maddison play, we got a good chance of winning this game. But this is where we're going to need Fernandes coming in the game. That's what we're going to need him playing. And maybe just play 3 centre-halves there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you go with 3 centre-halves down there. I think he does. Now, if we're talking about the 3 centre-halves, it's got to be Lascelles, it's got to be Cher, and it's got to be Fernandes. And I would play Cher in the middle of them because Cher is best at bringing the ball out of defence. And when you're in that central position, that is the best opportunity to bring the ball out is when you're in the middle. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of formation and tactics he goes for. But you're right. You need to look after Vardy. I think, Maddison has come into a great vein of form lately. He's playing very, very well. Somebody I would love to see in the Newcastle midfield in the future as well. I think he's a tremendous talent and he's still young as well. But Leicester, we don't know what team is going to turn up for Leicester, do we? Because they've been very hit and miss. But if we look at yesterday, Burnley, John, they looked like a relegation team. They were terrible. And all they could do in the last 20 minutes of the game was throw 3 centre forwards on and lump the ball long. And we coped with it very well.
So after we say that sort of thing, I thought we looked comfortable. And comfortable is not the word I use at Newcastle United, Paul, but I thought Burnley were very, very poor. I mean, it looked okay with Cornet in the team, but once he left, and it's a totally different side. Could you imagine if Vidra missed that chance at the struggle half time and Cornet had that chance? That would have been in the back of the net because he doesn't miss. But listen, Burnley are a poor team. From what I saw them yesterday, they're in big trouble, massive trouble. And I like Sean Dyche, I really do. But I think this season, I think the luck is going to be running out.
I think they're gonna struggle to score goals, John. I don't see where
Well,
Burnley they haven't scored for a while now. I don't see where their goals are going to come from. Ronald says here that Shah, if anything, the keeper fouled him. Yeah, he came right. Yeah, I agree. He flattened Shah, but it worked out in our favour in the end. So Stephen says Burnley are a hard team for anyone to play against, as their football is not exactly pretty. That's what they do, John. The setup, don't they, Burnley and Dyche, not to lose games, but they make games very, very scrappy, if that's the right word. They make them scrappy to watch and try and frustrate their opposition who try and play good football. But we stuck at our job yesterday. We didn't get frustrated. You know, we kept our heads. I know Joe Linton got a bit frustrated in the second half when we had a throw in. The Burnley guy left his foot in a little bit, but Joe Linton pushed him away. And that's what I want to see from Joe Linton, a bit of aggression.
And he can speak English as well, by the way, Joe Linton.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Yeah, I mean, Burnley are not the most exciting team. I have to agree with you on their sort of thing. But what they do, I have to agree with Supermac as well. They run, they're in your face, and also they just they rough up a little bit if they need to be. But you're right. I mean, we were comfortable, Paul, yesterday, and you know what it is, right? I mean, we dealt with it. We just didn't lose our cool. We just got on with it and just did the job.
I mean, obviously they did put the ball in the net once, but it was clearly offside. I mean, I've seen that was offside before it even needed to go to VAR. Now, Martin Dubravka, you know, he made some saves yesterday, but he also, you know, he comes and punches the ball, John, when I don't think he needs to. There was an incident in the first half. He punched the ball. You know, there was no Burnley player around. It was just him and Lascelles. Now, the communication between them two, if a goalkeeper's running out like that, he should be screaming, keep his ball, so that Lascelles knows just to leave it. But he comes over the top of Lascelles and punches it straight to a Burnley player. I just think sometimes these foreign goalkeepers would rather punch the ball than catch it. And, you know, you look back to last week in the goal against Norwich, could that have been different had Dubravka caught the ball? You know, so there's still a little bit of element of doubt there whether, you know, his decision-making is good.
That's the thing. I mean, you're right that you just mentioned there. The European keepers tend to punch it rather than catch it, sort of thing. But communication between the goalkeeper and defence needs to be spot on. And if it ain't spot on, and it just leads to problems. But you're right. I mean, he needs to be catching a bit more. I love Martin. I think he's a fantastic keeper, but he needs to catch it more. But he's a keeper. He's a quality keeper. He knows what he's doing. But you're right. But communication needs to be key. And I hope he doesn't parry too much, because if you're going to parry it or punch it, spoon it up. So the strikers don't even get a shot, or spoon it out so the ball goes out for a throw in. Do you know what I mean? I've got no problem.
I think Eddie Howe and the coaching staff will notice that, and I'm sure they'll work on that. As you know, when to punch, when to catch. You know, we get some proper coaching done with them. Foxy says Almiron was man of the match yesterday. Incredible. Geordie Toon for Life says Shelby was man of the match. You know, it's nice to see so many different opinions on who was man of the match. You know, we've had Wilson voted. You know, we've had Shelby now. We've had Almiron. For me, it was Joe Linton. But again, you know, it's nice that so many different players are popping up in other people's opinions for man of the match, because, you know, under Bruce, we were struggling to get a man of the match. You know, we were looking around the first 11 thinking, right, you know, nobody deserves man of the match. So it's a big change. Tom says here, you know, we've got Leicester, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, and Everton, Southampton. How many points? I don't think we'll get anything from Liverpool or Man City, John. But then again, you know, we said that about Man City. When the big teams come to St James's, we seem to perform a lot better, don't we?
We sure do, sort of thing, because no one don't expect us to do bits when you get in places top teams. But look at the fixture there. Excuse me. After we get a point of Leicester, forget Liverpool, Man City, Man United. Now I've got a lot of Man U followers, Sashuel, Dockerwell documented, right? But this is the worst Man United team I've seen in years and years. This is not a world-class Man United team. If they go on to win the league, which I ain't going to, third, and McTominay ain't going to win you the title. There's no way. That's the worst Man United team I've seen in years. So we'll probably get something out of that game. Everton are just having a bad time on the raft at the minute. I think they only won 2-10 or something like that. Okay, injuries to players part. DCL is out missing. He's a big miss for them. And Southampton, you don't know what Southampton's going to turn up. I mean, I know Hatton, they play some good stuff, but at the end of the day, I think we can go to Southampton and actually get something out of them as well. So for me, looking at that, I think we'd probably win 1, maybe 2 out of those games.
Yeah, I'm looking at possibly 1, 2, 3, 4. We could get it, but we could go to Southampton and win. Everton are all over the place at the minute. Between 6 and 8 points would be nice, and that would certainly put our minds at rest about a hellish December, which it is. But if we can get the points, then who knows? Yano says, guys, do you think the drop in recent standard was a result of the exertions of the Norwich game? No, I just think Burnley played the way Burnley play, made it difficult for us, and that's the way Burnley play. Steve, thanks very much for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate that. Two of my favourite Toon fans, absolutely buzzing about the win yesterday. Julie says, J7 looks like he's enjoying playing football now. And that's a big difference, isn't it, John? You've got to enjoy it, and you enjoy it, you perform better.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's down to the manager as well. He comes in and he knew the problem was going on. He must have spoke to them and say, well, look, Steve Bruce has ruined those players. He's absolutely ruined those players here. Anyhow comes in, G's them up a bit and says, right, we can do a lot of running, get you guys fit, because these players were not fit under Bruce at all whatsoever.
Well, Callum Wilson's admitted that, hasn't he?
Yeah. That's shocking, but it's gone. The percentage has gone an extra 20%, and I've noticed now in second half as well. They do not look knackered at all whatsoever, which I think is fantastic. And they play for one another. They just go out there and give their all. Now we cannot complain. We always say we don't demand a team that wins; we demand a team that tries. And what I saw from the last couple of games, it's been amazing. I mean,
there seems to be a real team ethic there now, doesn't it? It's fantastic to see. Foxy says he finds it really strange that Joe Linton's performance gets mentioned ahead of Shelvey and Almiron. Look, I mean, Shelvey played well again yesterday. Almiron certainly played much better than I've seen of recent weeks. I'd love him just to be. He nearly scored yesterday. It was a brilliant save by Nick Pope, to be honest, to tip it round the post. So yes, Shelvey and Almiron right up there yesterday, no doubt about it. But you have to look at where Joe Linton's come from, to where he is now, and he's exciting me as a player now, and I'm looking forward to what he can do in the future. Almiron definitely yesterday tracked back superbly well. He ran his heart out, as Almiron always does. But we want to see more in the final third of the pitch from Almiron, and we nearly did yesterday. So yes, I'd put him up there as well. Brilliant performance. We were good all over the pitch, to be fair, yesterday. A few didn't really get going again. I thought ASM, he just... There's still something not quite right there. Willock, as I said, definitely played better yesterday, but we know he can do much better. So there's still improvements there. And once those improvements get going, we will be a much stronger side. I never thought I'd say this, but Joe Linton is undroppable. Cesare says Joe Linton and Shelvey are completely different players. This is not simply a new manager bounce reaction. This is just a better management. Joe Linton could play next to Shelvey, risky but worth the shot. Listen, you never know. Miggy played a big role yesterday. He certainly did. Jason says Joe was never a striker. Indeed, he wasn't. Ross says, do you think Almiron should start more often? Was impressed on Saturday. I think he'll play against Leicester, John. I think he'll play. I think we have to play Almiron against Leicester. Now, if we do go to 3 at the back, the team selection is going to be very, very interesting. But obviously, we'll look at that in previews next week. I'm sure you have a preview, and we'll be all looking at potential lineups and potential formations. So it will be interesting to see. But I think, you never know with Eddie Howe, do you? Because look, Federico Fernandez played brilliantly on Tuesday, could only make the bench yesterday. So you just don't know how he's going to go. One thing about Eddie Howe, though, John, is he will pick the team that he thinks will do a job against Leicester. Just because you played well the game before, he goes with the formation and the team he thinks will be right for that next opposition.
Absolutely. It's all about your train, how well you train for the 5 days and then leading to match day, in my opinion. But for me, I like competition in the side. I like to have competition in the team. It keeps everyone guessing. you know. And it's like Federico. I mean, he expected to be in on Saturday, but at the end of the day, he didn't get the nod over Lascelles because he's club captain. But if you do well in training, then you deserve to be in the side. As simple as that. But Jamal Lewis, we haven't even mentioned him. This guy, yesterday, I thought he defended well. I mean, there's parts in the second half later on. He could have brought the guy down for a penalty, but what he did, he played it clever. He just stood there, still won the ball, right? And the guy clears it out. Had it been Matt Ritchie, I would have guaranteed you would have brought him down for a penalty. But Lewis was very, very clever. I mean,
I think Jamal Lewis. We have to remember with Jamal Lewis, John, that he's only come in for these 2 games so far. He will get better the more he plays, and I think there was still little elements of his game yesterday where he could have done a little bit better. But that will come. That will come with improvement. That will come with coaching. But it's so nice to see a left back playing in a left back position and doing a left back's job. I thought he was excellent yesterday. They all put a shift in. There's no doubt about that. I just think, with ASM, his final ball could be a lot better. His shooting still isn't there for me. It's sort of 1 in 10. He gets a decent shot away. And Foxy says here, Joe Linton is a wide attacker and a poor one at that. I would prefer him working hard in the middle rather than being a player that we expect to make things happen in an attacking sense. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about in playing in midfield, playing in that role where the pressure's off him a little bit to make something happen further forward in the pitch. He looks like a player who can win a ball and be very calm on the ball and set players up. That's what I saw Joe Linton do yesterday. And he'll probably stay in his advanced position, but knowing that he can come back and help out midfield and drop back if he has to is something that quite excites me, especially when we come up against Leicester City, when we probably need that little bit of reinforcement in the midfield. I think he can do a job there next week, John.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I've got no problems. Like I said, I've got no problems here playing in the midfield. You mentioned calm in the middle as well. Yeah. But when he gets the ball, he seems to have more time with the ball. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing I like about Joe Linton now. Do you know what I mean? But you're right. Again, I mean, if he can play him in midfield alongside Shelby, and then, put him in. I've got confidence in Eddie Howe, 110%.
Yeah. Johnny Toon for Life saying there that Lingard's not in the Man United squad today. Very interesting. Look, I think he'll be away in January. Whether it's to us or whether it's to West Ham, I guess time will tell. I'm pretty sure that conversations have already taken place, but again, we will have to wait and see on that one. Good afternoon, trolls. Hope you're well, mate. Luke says Joe Linton is just like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. That's not a bad comparison. He's the same sort of build, isn't he? So he plays midfield. Rob says, I've been impressed with Joe Linton. Manquillo did all right too. Yeah, the one thing about Manquillo, though, is I wish he'd crossed the ball sooner, John. There was times yesterday, especially in the second half, he was getting the ball and not crossing it in as quick as he maybe should. He's cutting back and then playing either, a little bit back or a square ball across. I think in them situations, someone like Callum Wilson's just crying out for the crosses to come in.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like Manquillo very much, by the way. I mean, listen, like I said, you just mentioned there, he needs to be a bit quicker. I totally agree with you, that sort of thing, you know what I mean? There's nothing spectacular about the guy. All he does, he's a solid right back. Yeah, solid, he's safe. He does like to take risks as well. I've noticed that in this game as well. But if he just be confident a bit more, cross the ball more, like you said, Callum's crying out for the cross, then I think he'd be a decent right back sort of thing as well. So I think he's not the quickest, but I like to see a bit more from him. Just take a risk, take chances from him. Do you know what I mean? If he messes up, sort of thing, okay, cool. Then at least he's tried. And then we've got defenders that can actually defend properly now. And
whipping in the crosses is again something that they will probably work on. Dublin Magpie, what's the crack, lads? Not too bad. Unfortunately, you missed your flight home today, so he has to have an extra day in Newcastle today. But he's flying back tomorrow. Level 7 Dave, Joe Linton was my man of the match. He was mine as well. But a lot of people are just, really happy, I think, at the whole performance. Jock says the last 5 minutes yesterday, I built my own house. I was bricking it that much. I know, it just when you get into the last 5 minutes and Newcastle are leading by 1 goal, it kind of just puts the creepers up here a little bit. Foxy says, look what happens when we start Almiron. More energy, perfect link from defence to attack. Unlucky not to score. Yep. Yeah. But again, this is you have to remember that Almiron wasn't around when Eddie took over. He was on international duty, and Eddie didn't see him for 2 weeks. He came back, the Friday before the game. He was never going to start the game against Arsenal or Norwich, to be fair. However, you look at the performance, moving forward yesterday. I'm sure Eddie Howe will have been very, very pleased with that performance. And it gives Eddie Howe a lot of different options, which we've never had before. When Steve Bruce was putting square pegs in round holes, Eddie seems to be slowly changing it back now to where players are in the proper positions. And, it obviously comes to fruition when that happens. Geordie Toon for Life says Vardy might not play if he plays 90 minutes on Thursday. That's a good point. He doesn't tend to play 2 games in a week at the minute. Bazza says, you see, 1 win and other results going our way, and suddenly we are within striking distance of saving our season. Dublin Magpie, I am stuck for an extra day in the Toon. Missed my flight earlier, but it's the best city in the UK, so it's all good. Stu says Miggy is limited, but playing him on the right does him no favours. I think, he's obviously left-footed, and I think that's a problem when we were talking about crosses before, John, yesterday. Yeah. When he's linking up with Mankio's laying the ball off him, they're playing it back for Miggy to whip across him, but Miggy's cutting back on his left foot and then cutting in all the time. It stops the crosses coming across, doesn't it?
That's very, very true. Not just that, if you're going to keep cutting in all the time, you're going to be predictable as well. And defence will find them up doing it that way. But you're right. I mean, I'll play with some 10 role sort of for me. I mean, he's raced on the right. On the left, he might be okay. But for me, I want to see him play as a 10 role. And on the Miron, right, he's a little bit rusty yesterday, if I'm honest with you, sort of thing. We get that. But his work rate is absolutely fantastic. We saw flashes of his brilliance yesterday. But he had a good game for me. And he was unlucky with that shot. He was blocked by a defender out for a corner. But listen, he's got to be in the team now. He's got to play as a 10 role for me.
Yeah, somewhere where he can use his left foot a lot more often. I think what the plan was yesterday was for Miggy to cut in on his left and get some shots away. But I don't think Miggy's 100% confident on his shooting at the minute. We know that he's had a lot of shots in the past where they've just been powder puff and things like that. But he got a good shot in yesterday. The Pope tipped round the post. A defender blocked another one that went for a corner. So I think as the game went on, he was more confident getting shots in. But I think playing him, as a number 10 or on the left is going to suit him better because he's left-footed. He doesn't really have a right foot. Cesare says, didn't like that how brought Lascelles in for Fernandez, but I have to admit that Lascelles did well against Chris Wood. Hats off to Fernandez for not sulking, although I would have understood. On Lascelles, John, I mean, he did all right yesterday. He had a couple of ricks in the first half, very early doors that, he was struggling a little bit against Cornet. But as the game went on and the long balls were starting to come in from Burnley, we dealt with them very well, I thought.
Yeah, for me, Lascelles. That's the performance I want to see from him every single week. Read the game, head away from danger, and does his job as a defender properly, sort of thing. That's what I want to see from him. I don't think he's been tested yesterday, let's be real. But listen, I thought he was decent. He did what he had to do, and just did the job he was asked to do.
Yeah. Peter Fairbank, thanks very much for the super chat, mate. £4.49. He says, afternoon, Paul. Can you do a fresh transfer rumour video sometime this month? Still loving the channel, mate. Yeah, the rumour mill is tomorrow night, mate, at 8 o'clock on this very channel. John will obviously be on that as well. We'll be joined by Billy Trey, PD Proudlock. I think Stephen's back on again. So with all the transfer rumours coming in. So yeah, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, the rumour mill, mate. So make sure you tune in for that one. Now there is some talk about Emanalo in the chat, John. Obviously, a report came out that he turned the job down. However, Dad has come out and tweeted this morning that any report of that is absolute rubbish because he was never offered the job of director of football anyway. It's amazing that the communication now, the club coming out and saying, look, that's a load of rubbish in the press this morning. He was never offered the job because it makes the reporter look a bit stupid now. He was never offered it in the first place. And, the sort of negotiations go on with whoever it may be, John.
Yeah, and not only that sort of thing, do not believe what you read in the papers at the end of the day, because if you believe it sort of thing, then the people like us going to make yourself like a clowns as well, right? Clowns as well. But you're right. Again, I mean, listen, you just got to wait and see who's going to come in. Just hold fire. Let them do what they bring in, and then just go from there. But Emanalo, I mean, he would have been perfect for us, in my opinion, as a director of football. He's done it at Chelsea, and he's done it at Monaco.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show, don't believe what we believe in the newspapers, because that's all there is to it. But we'd definitely get a director of football somehow, but it won't be Marcel Brands, even though he's quit Everton as the director of football. It won't be him. That's breaking news that he has resigned. And Luis Campos would be perfect. He's done fantastic things with Lille.
Yeah, he has. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they do get one in before the end of before the start of the transfer window. But then again, we obviously don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There's so much going on. Obviously, we saw photos of a new sort of warm-up area at St James's Park next to the dressing room for the players being built that Eddie Howard requested. That's all done and dusted now. Very quickly put together and built. So there's a lot going on that we don't know about, and that'll be the case moving forward. We're not going to know of everything that goes on. There's certainly negotiations between potential new staff members. That's something that will go on behind the scenes. They'll announce that when they feel the need to. Julie says, Howe's passion at the end was infectious. It's been a long time since we've seen that. Yeah, going around the whole ground and sort of punching the air and with all the players, it was absolutely fantastic, actually. Matthew says, I thought Almiron was decent as well. Yep, no doubt about it. He also says, would you take a point next Sunday? I think I would. Listen, any point gained in the Premier League away from home is a bonus, right? And a lot of players and managers will say that. Anything you can get away from home is a bonus rather than coming away with nothing. So if we go into before the game, we'd all say, yep, we'd take a draw now. Without a doubt we would. But there's just that sneaky suspicion that we can do something again. We went to Leicester and thumped them last season down there. Mm-hmm. What's to say we can't go and do that again, John?
Totally agree. Because they must be thinking, we're going to do it. They're going to do us again. But listen, it just goes to show if you go there with confidence, play your own game, and believe in yourself, and Eddie is instill belief in this team, then we can go there and actually get 3 points of them. But you're right. I mean, just they've got the players to do it. I mean, you've got pace in the team, especially up front. And I don't feel the Leicester back four are the quickest at all whatsoever. So, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he's doing something.
Yeah. Cesare says, fully agree, Julie. I loved seeing the animated head coach on the touchline who's passionately pulls the strings for the side. He was kicking every ball along with his players. He's definitely animated. There's no doubt about that on the sideline. Matthew says 7 points needed out of those games. Look, let's not put any pressure on the team to we'll see what we come up with. At the end of the day, we might be sitting, at the end of December looking back thinking, wow, we've done so much better than we thought we would, or we haven't got as many points as we really needed to get. But, this is just one thing. You never know now. You never know. That win will have galvanized the team yesterday. We saw the celebrations after the game. The morale will be up. The confidence will be up. And it's very important that they take that into the next game. Leicester is not going to be an easy game away from home. It never is for any team. But like we've already spoke about, Leicester have a game in midweek on the Thursday against Napoli in Naples. It's going to be tough for them. They've got to travel home. We've had a full week's rest. You'd expect Newcastle to be a little bit more fitter than Leicester, depending on what Brendan Rodgers does with his team. But we again, time will tell. Foxy says we beat Leicester last season when it wasn't expected. We certainly did. Andy says, haven't we always upset the big team and lose the easy games? That's just the way we play. Yeah, we have. We've done very well in the past. And, you look at some of the recent Man City games where we've performed really well at home, John.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, it's like us. You don't know which Newcastle United you're going to see. And at times, you know what I mean? But we seem to be up for these games against the bigger teams. We seem to have a real go at these teams, you know what I mean? And we do get the results as well. Look at last season, Leicester away. I mean, you had a go against Man City. That's not the strongest Man City, by the way. But the games you got beat, not just beat, but hammered as well, which is very disappointing under Steve Bruce. But listen, it is what it is. We just got to give it our best shot. I mean, the fans plays a major part, especially at St. James's Park, because no team don't want to go to St. James's Park when it's like this. The fans are rocking now. The atmosphere is rocking, yeah? And we've got that back. We want our club to be a fortress again, yeah? Make it difficult for the opposition, you know? Yeah. But you got teams like Man City and Liverpool are used to it. Man United are used to it as well, by the way. But we've got to win 1 or 2 of these games between now and Christmas, yeah? And if we can do that, then we're right back in it.
We are. Nathan asked the question there, do you think Newcastle will stay up? Look, it's a hard question to answer at the moment. I think if we continue to play the way we are, I think we've certainly got a better chance than not. You know what I mean? But we just need to continue this momentum, continue this building that Eddie Howe's doing, you know, and as much as I hate to say it, trust the process. You know, I think that's what we have to do, put our trust in the people that are running the club now and managing the team, and let's see where we end up. We've got about 20 minutes left of the show, guys, so if you are enjoying the show, please don't forget to hit the like button for me. Let's continue to build the channel, send it in the right way. If you are new and you like what you see, please don't forget to consider subscribing. Very, very close to 6,500 now, which is incredible. So let's keep building as well as we are. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed. And hopefully the channel will keep on moving upwards. So thank you in advance for that. Geordie says 7 points needed out of those matches. Leicester 3 points, Liverpool and Man City 0. Man United 1 point, Everton 3 points. That's not entirely unrealistic, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, it seems to be confident as well, which I like if people are being confident. And I'd take 7 points all day long. I mean, I'd love to get 3 against Man United, because we shouldn't be scared of them at all whatsoever, sort of thing. I mean, you look at their back four. I mean, Maguire's struggling. I mean, Lindelof isn't that great. Van der Zaka isn't that great. Okay, he's kind of tackler. Luke Shaw's quality when he's on it. But the midfield, we should outplay the midfield, by the way, because their midfield ain't that great. But it's not fun. You got Ronaldo. If you got Ronaldo in the team, then you got a fantastic chance.
I think Ranić's come in, hasn't he? So they're obviously, I think they've changed the way they look a lot more, you know, by the sound of things, they look a lot more attacking today against Palace. You know, so you've got to take that into consideration, that they've got the new manager and what he will install in that team moving forward. But again, I think Man United's defence is there to be good at. There's no doubt about that. Lindelof can be good at. Maguire certainly can. I think if Wilson gets stuck into Maguire, I think that could be a tremendous battle. Foxy says that's why Joe Linton can't be man of the match for me. Every time he got into a good position, he wasted it terribly. Yet we judge Almer on exactly that, even when he did good things attacking. Nobody's saying that, Foxy, to be honest. I think you know, that's where Joe Linton's game can improve. Without a shadow of a doubt, when he's driving forward with the ball, know when to give it, know when to keep it. There was times there he could have played in players yesterday. He could have played in Mankio in the second half, and he didn't. He cut back. I think those are the times where Joe Linton, where the coaching will come in, when to tell him when to release the ball. Almer on the same, when to play it, when to shoot. He's got to improve his shooting. So, you know, there's all... You know, this isn't a finished article yet by a long way. You know, there's a lot of players there who still need to improve a lot. But the signs are good. You know, the progression is going in the right way, which is what we want to see. And we didn't see it at all under Steve Bruce. Luke said, I would love it if we got the Hoffenheim player for £4 million. Not sure who he's talking about there. Any idea, John?
Yeah, he's an Austrian lad. And the comment is there. He's a big lad, Austrian lad. And apparently he's pretty good. One of the better players for Hoffenheim.
It'd be interesting. Paul says, I think we could get 6 points in December, but we could get points out of any game in December. Joe Linton has come on leaps and bounds and said he has been there. And Jamal Lewis, another quality performance. Yeah, and as long as we keep building on this. Matthew says, ASM was good in spells, but he needs to work harder and release the ball sometimes. Yeah, I mean, you know, Maggot says there, ASM put in a class ball for Wilson, no need to be blocked. Yeah, he did. But I think... St. Maximin's a very, very hard one, because we know what these flair players are like. They don't like tracking back, you know, and you know, Ronaldo doesn't for Man United. And, you know, the flair players on many, many teams are the ones that don't track back. They are there for the outlet. And I just think that that's been too too much of a responsibility for ASM under Steve Bruce, where the ball was coming to him all the time and he was having to run the length of the pitch and tire himself out by the 60th minute or whatever it was. And I think now Eddie Howe is trying to play the team game, and ASM has got to get used to that, John. He's just got to, adjust his game a little bit and start believing in what Eddie Howe is trying to do.
And also his decision-making has got to be better as well, by the way, because at times his decision-making is not the greatest as well. But you're right. I mean, it's a different game now. He's got to play within a team. And, and also as well, I mean, he kind of be too breed on the ball as well, which is so frustrating on him. We all know he's a fantastic player. We all know his quality, but it's the final ball, the end product, again, needs to be worked on. And I'm sure the coaches will work on that as well, ASAP. They need to. He's not far away, but he has got to learn that he's not the finishing product yet. But he'll get there. Yeah. He's still young, and he'll get back.
Seattle Georgie says, don't forget about the clean sheet. Yeah, I mean, when was the last time we got that? It was, I think, all round, 3 points, clean sheet. It's exactly what we could have hoped for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had a clean sheet since Fulham last season, but it's actually nice that we actually do get a clean sheet, defend properly. If you defend properly, right, and don't see goals, we get a clean sheet. If you don't defend properly and you can see the goal, you're not going to get a clean sheet. But look, at the end of the day, I think it's great to win 1-0. I take all 1-0 wins all day long. I really would.
Oh God, yeah, especially the situation we're in. Chris says we were pretty lucky yesterday. In what way, Chris? I'm not sure if you're talking about Newcastle or another team, but Newcastle weren't lucky yesterday. Burnley didn't. I don't understand how we were lucky, because Burnley didn't actually have any chances apart from, a few long shots, a couple of headers, which were pretty comfortable for.
Shots, well.
Yeah, which were pretty comfortable in the end for Dubravka. Offside goal, which was clearly offside. But I didn't think Burnley were particularly good yesterday, and I don't think we were lucky. I think we deserved to win the game. Cesare says, I'm disappointed not to have seen the best of ASM, but I'm enjoying the fact that we no longer completely rely on him. So many players upping their game and now fighting for the shirt. Do you think that's, in a way, upset our ASM, John, that he's not the main man anymore, that we don't look to him for everything?
Well, I've noticed when he loses the football, he does get a little bit frustrated, sort of thing. But yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I believe in team game, team play. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to have a flair player in there, but it's nice to play as a team. And ASM will have to understand this is a team game. Eddie Howe's come in and he's instilling the team, so he wants to be a part of that. But it doesn't matter who's the main man is. For me, it's all about winning football matches. Yeah.
Maggot, I've seen you. You said Shelvey is poor, and now you said Lewis and Richie both poor. Look, Lewis wasn't poor yesterday. Lewis is not a poor player.
He's not.
I watched him a lot at Norwich City, and he's not a poor player. I think it's about time that we started turning the negativity around to positive things and just say, look, there is improvements in these players. They may not make it in the end. They may not be good enough. But for the here and now, the improvements are there for all to see. And I think that's why, we have to give praise when praise is due. I think Jamal Lewis played very well yesterday. Yes, definitely still some improvements to be made, no doubt about it. But, we need to start trying to turn all this negativity into positives, and the improvements that we've seen in the players is there for all to see. So I don't necessarily agree with that at all. Matthew says, I don't think Howe will change the team too much. I think he'll go 3 defenders. I have a feeling he will anyway. Norwich are 2-0 down now, or worse, so about 20 minutes ago. Great to see Shelvey working harder under Howe. It is, without a shadow of doubt. Spencer says Lewis played well yesterday, but he got caught out of position a few times. The difference between him and Richie is that he can actually recover without conceding a stupid foul. Yeah, because he's got the pace. But again, as we were saying, John, that's why, Jamal Lewis will improve with game time and coaching.
Absolutely. It's not going to be an overnight fix. But like I said, the more games he gets, then the better he'll be. But me personally, I still keep Jamal in that team. And as for Richie, well, let's be real. I mean, he can go in January because, in my opinion, I just don't think he's good enough in this team now. And it's going to upset a lot of Richie fans here. But he gets booked a lot. He gives stupid free kicks away. But Lewis is just Yeah, fantastic. He's just shown how to be playing. I think that left back should be his for now.
Brentford are winning at Leeds 2-1 at the moment. That's a bit of a surprise, considering Ivan Toney's not playing either because he tested positive for COVID. How many players do you think we could get in January, John?
We need 2 defenders. We do another right back. Definitely do a covering left back for Lewis, definitely. Midfield wise, we do need a ball winner in the midfield, so he's going to win a ball and tackle, sort of thing, like a Jet Coyote type player. We do with creativity as well. We can do with a winger as well, so we can actually cross the ball, make things happen. We don't need a backup for Callum Wilson, so we look at about 6 or 7 minutes, but I will not be surprised if it's just to be about 5.
Yeah.
There's definitely more.
Yeah. Jim says sick of the knocking of Howe by some. He's a class manager and a person. Look what he's had to work with and the difference he's made. Time will tell. If we survive, Howe. If relegated, not. I think if we go down, Eddie Howe will still be the manager. I've no absolute doubt about that. And I think he'd relish a challenge of bringing Newcastle back up, to be honest. But his main aim now is to keep us in the Premier League. And I think he could actually do it. The red no. I don't know who he's talking about there. Travis says, I think we should try playing 4-4-2 with Miggy and Wilson up front. But Miggy just sat a little further back than Wilson, so it's like a 4-4-1-1. So he has sort of a deeper centre-forward role. That's not a bad idea, to be honest. I mean, 4-4-1-1 is something that Eddie Howe has played a lot at Bournemouth. So he may do that eventually, but he needs time to see all these players, get a good look at them and see where the best positions are gonna be. Cesare says, what a turnaround we're seeing with the communication from the club. I now say I don't believe any rumours until my club releases a statement. Before rumours were all we had to go on. That's a good point, John. We were just relying on rumours, wasn't it? Because the club would come out and say nothing, and now they're very, very vocal.
Absolutely, and so it should be. I mean, can you remember like Ashley and Charlie never said out when the rumours comes through? They never said out to the fans.
Yeah.
But these people, right, come in and tell us what the hell's going on, which I think is great. It's all about communication. Communication to the fans is key. We pay season tickets. We pay money to them, right? So I think it's only right for them to come out and tell us what's going on. Like today, Medrad come out and said that never offered Eminem the position of director of football. Yeah. And I hope we get more like that. Amanda Steele's do what, 3 interviews in a month? Which is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? You don't see Ashley do that.
100%. 100%. I think a good point is made as well by Ray on that last comment that the fixtures are coming up, but the fixtures are coming up quick and fast, which means that the games are coming. And we know that players would rather play games than train. So it keeps the consistency going that hopefully we can take advantage of that through December. Ian says, hi, guys. I am a Darlington FC fan. We were made bankrupt in 2011, reformed in 2012, demoted 4 leagues, and are currently a fan-owned National League North club. We have had 3 promotions to date. Yeah, a big shout out to Darlington. They're doing very, very well. They're in the same league as Gateshead and Blythe and Spennymoor. So there's a lot of Northeast teams in that league. And, Darlington have had they come back from a lot being a league side and then thrown out, demoted and just all sorts of terrible things. But now a fan-owned club, and I wish the very best to Darlington to get back up. I've actually had an email at the week a couple of days ago from Blythe, inviting me up to a game up there to do a vlog on the game. So I'll be taking that up because I'm interested to go to places like Blythe. I've never been there before. So I will be getting back to them and heading up to a game this season and looking forward to that. Peter says, but we have, but they have Europa League a couple of days before, and they're very hit and miss this season. They might be knackered. They'll not be knackered because obviously they're fit. But as the game goes on, as long as we're still in the game, John, that is what we'll look for: is to take advantage of that extra time that we've had.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we've got to do. Something, stay in the game and take advantage of it. We can do it. Like I said, we can go out there and win the game or get some out of the game, but Leicester's got a big squad anyway, so they can. They might even play that lad from Salzburg, Daka. He might be starting against us. You just never know. He's a finisher. He's a fantastic.
He's a good striker. Very good player. And I think they've got a natural replacement for Vardy when Vardy does eventually say, "Look, I've had enough. I'm off."
Exactly. If he just if he says like, "I had enough. I want to get away," I'll take him at Newcastle for a season. I'll take him at Newcastle. No problems.
I think Vardy will finish his career there, to be honest, John. I don't think you really want to go anywhere else, mate. Cesare says, I would love us to pursue Conor Gallagher from Palace. Good, young, talented British prospect for us and realistic acquisition. He's only on loan at Palace from Chelsea, and Thomas Tuchel has already said he's got his eye well and truly on Conor Gallagher playing a big part for Chelsea in the future. So I don't think it is a realistic acquisition, Cesare, unfortunately. I'm a big fan of his. I was a big fan of his when he played at West Brom last season. He was a tremendous player at West Brom. And, again, he's doing brilliantly for Palace. But Thomas Tuchel has been asked about him on numerous occasions and said that he is going to be a star of the future for Chelsea. So we'll see how that goes. But I think if he ever does become available, I think we should be first knocking down the door to get him. Jock says, we have been starved for so long not hearing anything from our club. Our owners are now showing us, which is utterly brilliant. Jason says, we always play better when we're not expected to win. Very good point. We'll instill into the team the dropping of the heads if getting beat is not an option, which helps the team as well as the supporters. Yep. Good afternoon from a Greek Newcastle United fan. Finally, some optimism. I haven't felt that excited since 2011. It does breed optimism. I know it's only one, and people will say, well, you've only won 1 in 15 or whatever it is. How can you be so optimistic? But that first win was crucial yesterday, John, in trying to kickstart the season.
Absolutely. And when you look at the points we have dropped at home, it hasn't helped out at all. But if any win, right, and it's been a long time in common, 1 win in 15, our first win in 15 games. For me, I mean, the way the fans cheered after the match, it was just like we won the FA Cup. And you know what it is, right? I mean, the thing with Eddie Howe, you got all the players doing a lap of honour as well, sort of thing as well, walking around the stadium as well, which is absolutely magnificent. He really, really is. And he looks after the players, the fans. It's a feel for factor at the club. We've got our club back now. No doubt about it.
Oh, we have.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's into it as well. And listen, we've done it. So
what I liked yesterday, John, at the end of the game was the fact that the players were together. You saw how happy they were to get that first win. It was like a huge cloud lifted off the backs. A lot of fans stayed back to show their appreciation as well. So many stayed back to applaud them off the pitch, me included. I normally at the final whistle just head straight out and clap as I'm going down the stairs. I stayed in my seat for a while just to show the appreciation, and Eddie Howe coming around and giving it this and all of that, and it was just tremendous. And that just breeds confidence throughout the club, not just on the playing side. Simon says, do you know when the shit signs are coming down, Paul? No, but it's something to do with the sponsorship, I believe, and until this, whatever this Premier League embargo is on the sponsorship, we're a little stuck. I do believe that as soon as we can bring new sponsors in, those signs will be gone. But listen, they're there. We can't do anything about them at the minute. We know that Ashley's gone. We know that Charlie's gone. Bruce is gone. The whole shebang. I've just hit myself in the face with a lace, but never mind. The whole shebang has gone, John. And that's what we need to concentrate on more than anything.
Absolutely. Just, we got it back, mate. And it's all good. It's beautiful. All it is, mate. It's just fantastic being a fan here.
It is.
Bill.
Hit the like button. Go on, just do it. Thank you very much. Hi, MG. I hope you're well, matey. Our team looked like completely different players under Howe, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had a couple of shock results. Yeah, I mean, we can see that, but the problem is, John, the general media can't see that. They've already written us off.
You know what it is, right? The general media sort of thing, let's be real. I mean, Matt Law's the latest one's come out and said that and Hour's doing something false on Newcastle, I'll be worried, this and that sort of thing. Listen, all I would say to the media is, right, we got our club back. You're just jealous what's going on. Yeah. And if Ashley said that as owner now sort of thing, they're still bigging up and still big up Bruce as well. But no, look at the media and newspapers, and not one of them bigged up anyhow. Not one. They don't care.
Well, they won't, John, will they? They won't. They won't try and give us any sort of praise. 100% Mags, good afternoon, buddy. Just jumping on to say a quick hi. And what a great result for us last night. Hopefully we can build from here now, guys. Also, if you don't mind me saying, I would love help getting to 1K subs. Yeah, go and check his channel out, guys. 100% Mags on YouTube, and help him hit 1,000K as well. Davey says every game the players are statistically improving. Just think 4 weeks we all felt 7 players needed replacing. How many would you be keeping now?
Oh, good question.
That's a good point. That would probably need some thinking about, because there is players there now who were taking the place. But this is the thing, John. This is what we wanted to see. And, from the game yesterday, when we went into the game, the disappointing draw against Norwich, would that have affected us yesterday? But it didn't. They came into the game with, just a fresh incentive to win that game yesterday. Norwich was water under the bridge. It's gone. Nothing they could do about the result. But this one they could. And I thought they responded brilliantly. And that's what we have to look at moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact is, like you said, sort of thing, they didn't let the heads dropped. They just moved on to the next game. They knew exactly what was done. They're doing the right things. It's just defending properly. But they've gone there on the pitch, gave their all, gave it the best shots. And, just happy days. That's what I can see it. But it was disappointing on Tuesday. I get that. Kieran Clark cost us a game. I don't get anyone say it was. But listen, as long as you keep 11 players on the pitch, we've got a good chance of winning the game.
Alan says, I hate to be a downer, but we were terrible first half. Got out of jail with goalkeeper mistake for the goal. Some good performances second half. Same minimum need to get anything for the next game. Alan, I agree the first 20 minutes were very, very poor yesterday. We couldn't get into our stride, but that wasn't through one to try. And that was the referee who was very, very whistle happy in the first 20 minutes, if not through most of the game. And Burnley, you saw what Burnley's tactics were. They were there to frustrate us. Little niggly fouls here and there. The game really never got started. And when you say a goalkeeping mistake, you have to force those mistakes by putting the ball into the box. Nick Pope came out, he lost the ball, and let's face it, it wasn't a simple goal for Callum Wilson. He still had to take the ball on, round the goalkeeper, and make sure that he avoided the defender on the line with a fantastic finish. So it was a brilliant goal for me. But saying we were, I don't think we were terrible first half. I just think the game itself just didn't get going. But when the game did get going, we looked by far the better side. ASM started to come alive at the end before he got took off. Maybe a little bit, yeah. Leeds might be in a bit of trouble, losing today and away to Chelsea and Man City in the next two. Everyone has tough games during December, so come January, we might be in a better position than we think. I just think it's going to be still really close, John, if you look at everyone else's fixtures as well. But it's in our hands. We do our job and let everybody else worry about themselves.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you just said there, that last message there, that Leeds got to play Chelsea and Man City. They beat Man City last season at the Etihad, sort of thing. They could do it again. Probably not, but you're right. We've got to concentrate on our own job, sort of thing. Win our games. Don't worry about them. Worry about us. Yeah, we do our bit, and then it's up to them to do the same thing. Hopefully, don't. But listen, we just win a couple more games before the end of the year, and we could be right. We can get us. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and make history, by the way, because no team that finished bottom in December escaped the job, and we could be the first team to do that.
I think, I'm sitting here, John, a lot more positive than I was on Friday, I have to say, because I am seeing every game improvements to every player. I'm not saying massive improvements. I'm not saying they're going to be world beaters, but I can see what Eddie Howe is starting to do already, and that can only be a good thing moving forward.
Absolutely. Just, what he's trying to do is trying to believe the players can do the job on the pitch. I mean, he's bigging the players up. He's saying the right things about the players and that sort of thing. The players are happy. They want to play for this manager. What they don't want to hear from a manager, which was the last one we had, is having negative comments sort of thing. And that's why the players do not want to play for him. But the players are believing in Eddie Howe. They will go on the pitch and give everything. Do that. It would be absolutely good.
Yeah. I agree with Jano's comment here in a way. Accept the limitations of ASM and allow him a free role. Get the best attacking from him. Not saying he should get a free pass, but if he's helping out on the full back all the time, the forward play suffers. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about a flair player, John. You have to give these flair players a little bit of leeway sometimes. But what I want to see from St. Maximin is that, final third area. but a final product is what we need to see. But I think, again, hopefully Eddie Howe will work on that with ASM over the next coming weeks and months, and we will see a difference. Cesare said, shouldn't matter to ASM that he can't always be the main man. Ginola was the quintessential entertainer, but played in such a great team that even he would sometimes disappear. It's a French flair thing. I think you're right. You know, you look at Laurent Robert, Hatton Ben Arfa, they were not in the game all the time when they played for us either, but were capable of wonderful, wonderful things. So yeah, it's interesting. Right, we've come to the end of the show. Again, thank you to everybody that's been commenting, and so much positivity in the chat today, which is just incredible. I mean, you know, finally we break the duck and we get 3 points, and now we can we can move forward. So that for me is the beautiful thing. I wasn't, if I'm honest, John, I wasn't looking forward to going to Leicester next week. I was thinking, oh God, it's a bit hit and miss depending on how we play. But after yesterday, I'm a lot more kind of positive than I was. I'm not saying we're going to go there and win. I'm not going to go there and say that. But I think what we've said is, you know, we are capable of getting a result down there. And if we look at the fact that coming away with something rather than nothing is going to be better. So yes, we take a point now, but looking at the match itself, we can actually go there and give them a game and try and get a result.
Yeah, I totally agree. You shouldn't have to be scared of Leicester. Last season, it's been proved. We've done it. We could do it again. But we go there, we will win our backs sort of thing as well. And go out there and just give our best shot. Just do exactly what you're doing. Keep the defence tight. Have a go. We win the game. But I'll be happy taking a point. If it goes our way and we take a point, cool. I'd take that.
Well, just before we go, John, I forgot to mention the player ratings. So what we'll do is we'll go through them quickly, just one player each. Obviously, we'll start off in goal. So I'll let you Mark Dubravka.
Clean sheet as well, and he didn't have a lot to do, really, Paul, if I'm quite honest with you, sort of thing.
Yeah. The saves were pretty straightforward, weren't they? I mean, he made one pretty good one in the first half, diving off to his right. I think the free kick as well, he made a good save from.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7 there, sort of thing. And he led well, but yeah, I mean, I could quite easily give him a 6 because he had nothing to do, but I could give him a 7.
Right. I'll go for Manquillo. I think Manquillo was solid yesterday. I don't think he got caught out many times at all. I think his defending is really improved, and I think that'll only get better. So yeah, I think for Manquillo, I liked his forward runs. The only thing I'd say negatively about Manquillo is I'd like to see him get the crosses in a little bit quicker, like we said earlier. But I think another 7 for me. I think he was steady and solid. So a 7 for Manquillo. John, you go for Lascelles.
I'm going to give him an 8. I mean, listen, that's the best he's played in a black and white shirt for this season. I mean, he defended well, and he won some aerial battles for me, and he played like a captain for once. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, but when he came in, I wasn't that surprised he's going to come for Federico. But at the end of the day, I think it was a good performance from our captain. Now he's got to do it every single week.
Yeah.
And that's the standard I want to see from this guy.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think, the only thing that worries me about Lascelles is his pace. Now, Eddie Howe says he's got pace, but yes, he's got pace, but it's building up to that pace. He's very slow off the mark. And you saw that a couple of times in the second half yesterday with the Burnley strikers catching him up very, very quickly. So, I'd agree with that. Fabian Schär, I'm going to give him a 7. Again, steady away, no real mistakes from him yesterday. I thought he was quite solid when he needed to be. Again, the long balls coming into the box, I think we dealt with very, very well. And I don't think there was any major issues for him. So a 7. If we go to left back, John Jamal Lewis.
Apart from that slight mistake in half, sort of thing, we lost the ball. I think he's slowly going back his business as a left back. And why is he not being playing all that time? Because I think he's a decent left back. And I'm going to give him a 7. I'm now going to be harsh on him. I know a lot of people accidentally give him an 8, so I'll give him a 7. Yeah,
I think I'd go with that. I think 7 is pretty much steady away. If we go into the midfield, Jonjo Shelvey, for me, again, performed really, really well. I like the way he was getting back and he was helping helping out, and he was doing everything that he possibly could to perform for the lads. He was, yes, there's always going to be an element of giving the ball away with John Joe Shelby. That's just the type of player he is. But I thought he was, again, the effort was there, the passion, the enthusiasm. So I'd give him an 8. John, if we go on to Joe Willock.
Look, I mean, I feel sorry for Joe Willock at times, you know. I mean, he hasn't been his best this season, but yesterday, I mean, we're just slowly getting back, and we done an assist for the goal, which Nick Pope messed up, by the way. But listen, I mean, he's done a lot of running, in my opinion, and he's worked harder. He had a shot which fired over the bar, but I'm going to give him a 7 for me because I could have given him a 6, but I'm going to give him a 7 here.
Yeah. I'd go with that. Yep. I think, you know, he did enough to get a 7. Where are we going next? I'll do Joe Linton. Joe Linton for me was fantastic again yesterday. I thought his all-round effort, the way he worked, the running, the passion that he showed. Again, you know, just winning the ball, you know, using his size this time, which was great for me. So I'm going for a 9 for Joe Linton yesterday. John, you can take Miggy.
Okay. I mean, I'll probably give probably 8-9 for me for Joe Linton, 8 and a 9. But he had a good game, by the way. But on the Miggy, he saw a few flashes of quality going forward. He was unlucky with the last shot as well when the defender blocked it. It's good to see him back running with the ball. And again, his decision making as well can be a bit frustrated. But it's a hard one for me because everyone said he's played well. I thought he played okay. I'll give him a 7 just.
Fair enough. I'll move on to ASM. ASM, you know, was in and out of the game yesterday, but we've already discussed that. That's what he's kind of like as a flair player. So I'm going to give ASM a 7. Just a straightforward 7. John, if we move on to Callum Wilson.
Thanks very much. I got the main man. Scored yesterday, opportunity to score. I think he took it well. I think he's so good. His movement again as well, and a chance being great. And I'm going to give him I know he scored, but I'm going to give him an 8. I'll give him an 8.
Okay. Now the substitutes that came on yesterday, obviously they came on sort of back end of the game, didn't they? So who came on first?
Fernandez came on first. He came on for Miggy.
Yeah. So I don't think it would be fair to rate the substitutes, to be honest, John, because I don't think they were on long enough, really.
I'll give him standard 5 then. I'll give him both him and Murphy standard 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough because it didn't have much. What about the manager, Eddie Howe?
I think he'd done well. I'm going to give him an 8. I mean, he got his tactics so right. I mean, he played formations good. And I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. 8, I'll give him a 9. I'll give him a 9.
A 9. I'll go for the fans yesterday, and I'm giving the fans a 10 because I think the fans were absolutely unbelievable yesterday again. You know, the chants about Eddie Howe, you know, Eddie Howe's Black and White Army ringing around St. James's Park. It's such an incredible stadium to be in when the crowd are like that and the atmosphere is like that. You know, normally you'd get a good start after about 10 minutes or so, and then it would quieten down. And that's when you hear the opposition fans start singing, "Is this a library?" They didn't get an opportunity to do yesterday. They didn't get that chance on Tuesday either against Norwich because, you know, the fans were right behind the team. And I can only see that being a positive moving forward. So without a doubt, a 10 for the team. So there we go. There's the player ratings as well. And, you know, fantastic to give such high marks for once and not really any player suffering at all. So brilliant, really, on that stretch. But that is it for the review. Thank you very much to everybody that super chatted, that took part in the comments. John, thank you very much for joining me on the review. Now, shows coming up on this channel this week. Tomorrow night is the Rumour Mill, the Monday night Rumour Mill, which is, of course, every 2 weeks. So it's been 2 weeks since the last one. So a lot of players have been linked with the club. A lot of staff have been linked with the club. So we'll take a look at those players, you know, and any stats that we can look at that we think might improve the team. So it's 2 hours of good crack, good laugh as well. And, you know, just seeing if we would actually bring them to Newcastle or whether we wouldn't. Get everybody's opinion on that as well. Tuesday night is, of course, the fan forum at 8:30. come and join me live on the show for that. It's a brilliant show, a good laugh as well. You know, lots of comments made, lots of good crack with the people on the forum. So come and have your say on all things Newcastle United. The link for that show will be in the description about 15 minutes before the start of the show to come on. Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, we have the European Football Show with myself and John again, where we will be talking about all the major leagues around Europe, any shock results, where the league standings are, who is making, a run who's going to make a run over Christmas up the league or down the league. So we'll be checking out all the major leagues across Europe. So do join us for that one as well. And probably give myself a break on Thursday night. Friday night will be the match review, preview of the Leicester game. It may well be Thursday, but I don't know yet. So just keep an eye on Twitter and YouTube for that. And Dave Harrison will obviously be joining me for that, for the preview. John, anything coming up on your channel this week?
I was going to do the fan forums tonight, but I'm not sure yet. But Monday, I'll be doing that show on Monday. I think you're doing the fan the pub rumors on Monday, which will be very interesting. Yeah. Tuesday, I'm going to try and do the fans forum. I might do the fans forum either tonight or maybe do it on Tuesday or Wednesday early. And other than that, I've got no plan yet, mate. So just check out for that, mate.
Yeah, keep an eye on John's channel for that. Like I say, if you have enjoyed the show today, guys, please do hit the like button. Help me to continue to grow the channel. And if you're new and you like what you see, you've enjoyed the show, you've had a look around the channel, please do consider subscribing. Help me get to that 6,500 and then beyond, and then keep this channel growing and growing and growing. But thank you very much for your company this afternoon, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Come on, Lewis Hamilton, and we'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow night for the live show at 8 o'clock. Good afternoon, everybody.
Take care.